Let my people go.
The Lord of hosts will do battle for us.
Hello brothers and sisters, I hope all of you are doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about a dream that I had a few days ago, and it kind of matches up with all the other brothers and sisters. I notice a lot of them are having dreams and visions about the arrival of the fallen ones. This particular dream I had starts off a little funny. You know, they usually do. They usually start off kind of with a lot of stuff going on that you don't really remember, but then they kind of get more clear, and they hit off to like a really big part towards the end that you remember really good. And those, you know, usually when I have those type, they're always from the Lord. Now, at the beginning of this, if you can imagine a big fenced-in area like a baseball field where the grass is kind of high, and there's like fences here and there, that's how it starts off. We're in this place and we're kind of playing around, having fun. Then all of a sudden, there's a tiger that gets loose. Now, I think this tiger represents the enemy, and I was kind of jumping over the fence like, oh, and like, keep that thing away from me, you know. And all of a sudden, something changes. I'm with this friend, and there's like this bouncing flower pod. I don't know how else to explain it to you. It just bounces around, and I knew that if this thing hit me, it was going to change my DNA, and I was just really trying to stay away from it. I was kind of moving my body and trying to avoid it, and it ends up landing on my friend. And my friend ends up getting caught in it, and I'm trying to help him out, but at the same time, I can't touch him because I don't want my DNA changed. And if you can imagine an egg, like a hard-boiled egg, and you remember half the egg, kind of cut it in half, and you put somebody in there, you put all kind of sticky, gluey stuff in there, and have them all kind of stuck in that thing. That's kind of what it looked like. And I knew that it was changing his DNA, and I wanted to stay away from it. Then all of a sudden, the dream changes, and it gets really crazy from here. All of a sudden, it's more of a birthday party environment. And I'm in a huge fenced-in area. It's still, but it doesn't look like a baseball field anymore. It looks like, I don't know, just a huge fenced-in, you know, a couple acres, and in the middle is like a house, and it's like my birthday party, but everybody's there. But here's the strange part. Not only were the people there that I knew, but like everybody was there. And people that were supposed to be in jail were there. People that were supposed to be dead, you know, on this earth were there. People that were out of town were there. And everybody's walking around, and they're like, what is going on? This is not right. So-and-so here, so-and-so's in jail. Or this person right here is not alive. How is this person here? Or this person doesn't live here. What's going on? So we had people calling the jails and like, is so-and-so here? Because we see this person walking around here. And they were like, yeah, you know, this person's in jail, so we don't know who you're seeing, you know? And they're like, whoa. And so all of a sudden, everybody started to not trust each other. We were all, and it sounds like a TV show, right? We're like all walking around. Nobody's trusting each other. I go and talk to a few friends when we're walking, and then they kind of don't trust me. I don't trust them because they don't know if I'm the real me, and I don't know if that's the real them. And so we're walking around, and all of a sudden, I go and I start walking, and I start to feel a really odd feeling. I had tried to change the music because it was supposed to be my birthday party, you know, in the dream in my mind. And, you know, it just have to do with like man-child stuff, you know, where it's like, it's just going to happen whenever, you know, the bride of Christ gets taken up and all this stuff. I'm not sure. But I'm standing there, and I went to change my music or turn my music up or down. I'm not sure. And the new people that were there were kind of scolded me a little bit. Not scolded me, but they were like, you know, I got it, you know, and all this. I'm like, okay. And I start walking, and then I start to feel out of place big time. I'm walking around, and I've had this feeling that in this closed-in area, they're about to spray stuff. You know, is this closed-in area? Does it represent the earth? I'm not sure, but I felt that they were about to spray chemicals in the air in this closed-in area that would change not only my DNA, but change everybody's DNA that was in this environment. And so I jump over the fence, and all of a sudden, when I jump over the fence to get out of there, and maybe that jumping over that fence symbolizes getting off the earth. You know, I'm not sure, but I jump over that fence. And all of a sudden, I hear a huge announcement by all those people that showed up, you know, that were like more like clones or something, where they showed up and they give an announcement. They say, I hear like an announcement, the intercom come on, and they say, we are not from this earth. We are from another earth. And we are giving you the chance to join us. So yeah, that was the announcement. They were giving everybody there a chance to join them, and they were saying that they were not from our earth, but from another earth. Now, there's so many different ways I can go with this dream. Okay, I think this might play into the Great Deception. They're going to get there and act like they are us from another earth, but really maybe they're just changing their bodies to look like us. But they're going to use the whole thing about being from another earth, I believe, making you feel less important, making you feel like there's all these different yous out there, and you know, and it does kind of tie into the Mandela effect stuff too, right? They're going to, like, it just kind of feels like, okay, well, we're not from your earth, we're from another earth, but maybe because of CERN, you know, these two earths are merging, and there's duplicates of you here. But I think all this is going to be some type of deceit a little bit, you know. I think a deceptive thing. I think that really they're going to be the fallen angels, and they're going to want to make you feel like they're from a different earth. And the thing about, I felt that they wanted to spray chemicals in the air, so I had to jump over this fence. are the chemicals that they were going to spray in the air, is this related to the chemtrails that they're spraying in our world every day now? For those of you who are not looking up, if you look up during the day and you see these white fake looking clouds everywhere, those are chemtrails. They've been spraying the heck out of our skies. You know, some of it has to do with blocking an incoming planetary system that's headed our way. I'm not going to get into all that, but they got a lot of stuff going on, brothers and sisters. They got like a fake sun up there. They got like, and you can look up the patents for it in science. They actually have the patents for a fake sun to where it's a bunch of like revolutionary light bulbs that kind of shine, and I don't know, but you can find all that out online if you do your own research. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and part of these chemtrails is to block what's coming our way. But at the same time, a lot of people have been saying, you know, that in these chemtrails there are actually it's a bioengineered white fungus. It looks like little white, I guess you could say white spider webs. If you ever see little white spider webs floating on the outside of your house, it's going to be because it's from a chemtrail that was just sprayed. And if you go like to touch that thing, it'll act like it's alive, and it'll go and move and try to touch you. And they're trying to get that to come into our body because they want to change our DNA. Now, I know that the Lord, for those of you who are sealed with the Holy Spirit, that they can't change your DNA. You know, but I worry for those who are not, because that stuff is getting in your body and it's trying to do things. And there's actually a disease called the Morgellons disease. And if you do a little research on that, you will see too, it's from your body rejecting those chemtrail spider webs. It's when they get in your body. So you're breathing that stuff in, brothers and sisters, and it's going through your nostrils and getting into your brain. And I actually had a dream one time where Christ showed himself rinsing my brain off, and I believe it was because of me breathing in those chemtrails. And he showed me in a vision one time, he showed him washing that out, and he showed like a little snake, and he showed the snake disappearing, and he was telling me that the stuff that's you guys are breathing in is from the enemy. And so I don't know, there was a lot in this dream, but I think it had to do with mostly the fallen angels making their appearance on the earth and trying to deceive everyone and giving you a chance to join them. And if you don't, you know, it was going to hit the fan for you, and it's kind of going to be a hard year, or hard 7 years for the Christians who were left on the earth through the Great Tribulation. Next, I'm going to share a few flash dreams and flash visions with you guys. One thing that's been happening to me a lot lately, and I wanted to run it by you guys, I'm not sure that I ever did yet. Sometimes at night when it's completely dark in this RV and my eyes are closed, I see this white flashing light, kind of like blink, 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 blink. And I open my eyes like, what in the heck is that? You know, is there a light in my place that's on, blinking? And no, and I open my eyes, it's completely just dark, like no white light nowhere, you know, because I'm trying to sleep. Because I'm a person that I can't really sleep with all kind of light on or noise. I kind of have to have it quiet, you know, and have it dark. But when I'm, you know, getting up to go to the bathroom or something, you know, I go to close my eyes for a second and I just see this flashing white light, or I'm laying in bed and I got my eyes closed and I see like, it's like if somebody has a flashlight on and off in my eyes or something. It's really, really noticeable, you know. So I was just curious if any of you guys have been having that same phenomenon happen to you at your home. You know, sometimes, because I wonder myself, is that coming from the Lord? Is that coming from, you know, the galaxy? Is that coming from, you know, where is that coming from? You know, because it's such a dramatic flashing, you know. It's just as if somebody has a light in my room just flashing on and off. But when I open my eyes, everything is normal, which is very strange. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I opened up my phone one day, and it was on a bunch of stuff, and I did not open it to this, I did not search for this, but my phone was on all kind of stuff on Zac Efron, who I guess is an actor. Now, I said, well, it has to be for a reason, because I didn't even look this up, and it's all over my phone. So I looked it up, and believe it or not, Zac means remembered by God, and Ephron is actually short for Ephraim, which means doubly fruitful. So basically it was telling me, God was showing me something, that God is remembering Ephraim. And I know that in America here, you know, this is said to be one of the countries that Ephraim is greatly at. You know, the Lord told Jacob, who gave the blessing to his children, and he said that Ephraim will become many nations, you know. So, and I believe that Ephraim is pretty much America. You know, not everybody in America is from Ephraim, but I believe that You know, the majority of Americans, a lot of them are from Ephraim. That's just my own personal belief. So the next flash I will share with you is, I heard, it was more of an audible flash vision. I heard some angels talking. And I heard one angel just simply asking another angel a question. This angel said, "Is he an angel?" And then I heard the other angel say, "Not only is he an angel, but he is Raphael." And that is another little flash vision I had, and I'll go to the next one. This next one I wasn't going to share part of it, but I'm going to share it just because of the blue spiral that I saw. Now this is one, it was a night of heavy attacks, and I was on a beach, and I believe it was the fallen. I don't know. I really don't know. Some of these things, brothers and sisters, are so real. I don't know if I'm there or if they were tricking me to make me think I was there. I don't know, but I know that I believe they were fallen, and they must have been trying to trick me to make me believe I was there. But I was on a beach, and I had glasses on, and there were these two girls, these fallen angels. They looked like beautiful girls, but they were just on the beach, and I'm not paying them any attention. They want me to take my glasses off or something like that, which could be symbolic, you know, of taking, you know, just taking your eyes off of God, maybe, which would never happen, you know. But they're trying all their little tactics, but the only part of me sharing this was I looked up in the air, and I saw a portal. You know, it's kind of like a portal. It was a blue spiral portal. For those of you who go online and you research a lot of the stuff online, if you go to YouTube and you look up the blue spiral, or the Blue Beam Project and all that, you'll see what I'm talking about. I looked up and I saw a blue spiral in the air, and I knew it to be some type of portal, and there was some type of, it looked like, I don't know what it was. It was some kind of gold, like, I saw like, it was almost invisible, but it wasn't invisible. It was like half see-through and half not, and it looked like gold, kind of like gold boxes coming down under that portal. But it was kind of like floating in the air. I'm not sure what in the world that was, but when I saw that blue spiral, it took me to a lot of the videos I've been seeing online about the blue spiral and the Blue Beam Project, and how some of the fallen might try to come through those blue spirals. Well, that's exactly what I saw in this vision. You know, it wasn't a good vision, but I'm only relaying that to you guys because I do believe that the fallen will use those blue spirals to travel through. The next one I had a flash vision of a new pair of boots. Now these boots were mostly blue, but they kind of look like Christmassy kind of thing, you know. So maybe it was like, you know, symbolic of what they mean, having to do with Christ, you know. But they're blue boots, and you guys can look up what that means. I have a lot of meanings on that, and I say that because I had another dream a few days ago that also had a pair of boots in it, and I was given a new pair. And this one, at first, it was kind of weird. I just remember the very end of it. Me and my friend DJ are leaving, and this wolf was coming at us, and he threw a dagger at it, and it ran off into the woods, and we were going to go chase it down and look for it. We happened to be at my friend Nathaniel's house and his family's house, which means gift from God. And, you know, at one point, a truck shows up in his yard, right next to me, and in the back of the truck is kind of pointed towards the woods, and there is this fruit tree or fruit bush in the back of this truck bed. Now this is really weird. Now if you remember looking at a banana tree ever or something like that, how they have like the fruit in those things, well, this had like fruit in them, and they were like, it was raining and water would get in these limbs or these stems of this fruit tree, and boom boom boom, like it would shoot fruit everywhere. Like fruit would come and be like launched out from this bush. This bush was like alive or something, I'm not sure. Like it rained on top of it, and it would just throw fruit everywhere. So I figured that might have been a good, you know, a good symbolic thing I was being shown about being fruitful. And at one point we go and we're giving them thanks, and I go to the door of my friend Nathaniel's house. She gives me, the mom I think opens the door, and she gives me a new pair of boots. And as she's doing that, my friend DJ is kind of on the side of their house, jumps on their tractor, and it's like, I thought it was being a little disrespectful, you know. So I was like trying to wave him down, like, get off their stuff, man. Like, get off there. Like, that's rude. Like, I'm talking to him, and you didn't get permission to do that. And he's riding their tractor around. I'm like, dude, get off their tractor. You know, I'm explaining to her, look, you know, I'm sorry. Like, we threw a dagger at a wolf, and my friend jumped on your tractor. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, she's like, well, you explained that pretty good. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. You know, and so I was into that. So I was given a pair of boots, and I just had a vision the other night about that pair of boots. And that brings me to last night. I was going to leave this for the next video, but I'll say it now. Last night I had a flash vision of Jesus but Jesus was a cloud. And the reason I saw that is, for you, those of you who don't know, there has been a sighting over New York City, a cloud that looked like it had a bunch of giants looking down in the cloud, looking down at the city. Now, in the Bible, there's something called the cloud of witnesses. And that's what it looked like. It looked like if you would look up in New York and see a cloud, and you would see a Jesus and a bunch of people looking down at you, that cloud looks like that. And you can actually find that on YouTube, brothers and sisters. If you Google giants over New York in the clouds or something like that, they'll have that there, and you can check it out. Well, I don't know if I was just thinking about that or what, but I had a vision and I saw a cloud. But this cloud was a huge cloud, and it was just Jesus. It was Jesus. I saw his waistband, his clothes, his robe. I saw his face, but it was him in a cloud, you know. So I think maybe he was giving me a confirmation that is what they saw, that they saw a cloud of witnesses over New York. You know, a lot of stuff is happening right now. We are so close to the coming of Jesus Christ. I mean, we could be days away. We are seriously in one of the most exciting times ever known to man right now. Well, that's pretty much it for the dreams for this particular video. But there's something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think either YouTube and Google is pretty much trying to mess me right now. Either that or you guys have pretty much stopped watching my videos. Because, you know, I have almost 40,000 subscribers to the channel, a few thousand shy of 40,000. And, you know, I have a video for a while and it's like 1,000 people will watch or something, and I'm like, something's not right. Like, the channel is getting really big, but at the same time it's showing less and less people watching. So either you guys aren't really enjoying the videos no more that I'm putting out, or YouTube is just messing with me. And because I mean, the channel is, you know, getting a lot of subscribers daily, and it's like I'm getting less and less people watching. That really doesn't make sense to me, you know. But it kind of, the only thing that does bother me, because that doesn't, but the only thing that does bother me is I go and I watch other videos, and there are certain channels, you know, that are pushing a lot of things that are just not true. You know, they're pushing false doctrines like once saved, always saved, and all this different stuff. And those are the channels I see blowing up right now. You know, you watch them, they've been out one day, and they'll have 400 or 500 likes on their video. And it's just, I don't understand that. What I see happening right now is I see a bunch of brothers and sisters so worried about not making the rapture that they're kind of changing their mentality to doctrines like that, like the once saved, always saved, because they want to have that hope that they're going to go no matter what. But brothers and sisters, beware of stuff like that, because the ones in the last days who are going to be preaching the truth to you are going to be the ones who are pretty much hated by a lot of people. When I come out and I tell you guys to make sure you're repenting, to make sure you're surrendering to Christ, to make sure you're turning from sin, you know, that's the type of stuff that a lot of Christians don't want to hear. Brothers and sisters, I tell you the truth because I love you. If you have a brother or a sister who won't tell you the truth because they're afraid to hurt your feelings, but they're willing to let you go to hell, if you consider that a real brother and sister, then, you know, that's on you. But a real brother and sister is somebody who sees your house on fire and says, brother, sister, your house is on fire, and you go in and you save them to your best of your ability. That's what I try to do here, because I've been to heaven. I've stood with the Lord. I've stood with the Lord as he showed me the book of works. I've stood with the Lord as he showed me the book of faith. And he told me that my faith meant nothing, that I could not go to heaven if I did not have the works to go with that faith. I mean, this is something that I'm not just making up. I stood there with the Godhead, with Jesus, in person, in heaven, as he showed me these things. So when I see these channels coming out and they pushing this stuff that your faith is good enough, you don't have, they make it sound like it's a bad thing to have works. Even though you're going to get judged by your works, they tell you not to have them and not to worry about them. And they tell you that just believing is enough. Just say you believe and you're all going to go to heaven. Well, guess what, brothers and sisters? That's somebody who's seeing your house on fire and who keeps on walking. I also would like to warn you guys in love to please be aware of who you're watching, you know, who you're watching on YouTube. We have some sisters and brothers online who, you know, they may get there and play the part and put their little scarves over their head and try to play the prophet, brothers and sisters, but the stuff they're telling you is not from the Lord. There are some who are divining, you know, are not getting that information from God. There are some who are coming on who are being used by the enemy to try to play off of the whole, race issue with Christians. And guess what? With Christ, with those who are being saved, there is no Jew or Gentile. There is no black and white. There is no brown and green. There are only the sons and daughters of God, And when you guys see me put up videos about things, it's to try to help those brothers and sisters who are leaving Christianity. I had watched a video today of a sister who was telling everybody that this person was this color and that person was that color, as she wears her scarf on her head and thinks she's doing the will of God. But she's completely wrong. And she's leading many people astray. I'm not going to say her name, even though I have tried to talk to her privately many of times. Don't let any of this stuff snare you, brothers and sisters. The enemy is going to try every little thing he can to try to get you away from Christ at this particular time right now, where he needs us the most to help him bring in the harvest, brothers and sisters. I love you guys so much. I love you so very much. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter if you're black, you're green, you're red, you're white. It does not matter. I love you. I love you very much. But that love doesn't compare to the love that Christ has for you and the love that Heavenly Father has for you. He loved you so much that he gave his only begotten Son for you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if the devil not after you, it may be because he has you. I'm worried about any Christian in here that said they're not having trouble. Something wrong with you? You're supposed to be catching it. The devil's supposed to be giving you a fit. Satan's supposed to be mad with you. And where's this bearing the cross? Where do we get this from? I don't supposed to have no pain. When you're a child of God, you welcome it. It's about bearing a cross. Do you trust me or the doctors? Now, you love your doctors and you do what they tell you. But in taking your medication, you're trusting the doctor. The Bible even tells us about one man that God didn't heal him because he didn't seek the Lord when he was sick. He sought doctors. And God brought a curse on him because he didn't talk to God first before he talked to a doctor. See, God wants you to trust him. And the latter of us got sick and died. And it doesn't mean Jesus doesn't love you because you got sick. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love you because you did have a divorce. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love you because you didn't lose your house. It doesn't mean God doesn't love you because you are having bad health. Job lost all that. And God loved him, but God picked him out for the devil to pick on him. Because God needs somebody he can brag on. God needs somebody he can pull off the shelf in eternity and say, look here, Satan, look at this. Don't they look good? They took all your lies. They took all your criticism. Satan, they took all your knocks. Look at that. Satan, think you got everybody look at this. You think everybody gave up when you knocked them down? Look at this one. You think everybody lied when others lied on them? Look at this one. You think everybody got bitter when things got bad? Look at this one. That's what God wants to say. I want you to look up to God and say, Lord, you can brag on me. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were convicted of being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to carry you to trial? Now, some of y'all, the judge is going to have to dismiss the case.
You've come in the final days.
All-knowing God has held you in reserve for nearly 6,000 years.
God has saved for the final inning, and our me?